everyone, I am Shubham Garg and welcome back to the lecture series of blockchain. So in this series we are going to see some of the concepts of blockchain and how these concepts are actually working. Alright, so one of the concepts of blockchain is asymmetric cryptography. That is, in blockchain, for security purposes, symmetric encryption and decryption is not used, rather asymmetric encryption and decryption is used. So now you see, talking about the difference between symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption is basically the number of keys. All right, so that is for symmetric encryption there is only one key, and for asymmetric encryption there are two keys. All right, so I will just use a blank layout. Yeah, in symmetric encryption and there is this asymmetric encryption. So in the symmetric encryption there is only one key, and in asymmetric encryption there are two keys, that is public key and private key. Alright, so what actually happens is that in asymmetric encryption these two keys are used, that is a public key and a private key, in order to make sure that transaction is verified and is secure. Alright, so let me just move towards the slide. You see here in asymmetric key cryptography, there is the data will be first encrypted with a public key and a private key, and then it will be those public and private key pair are used for a decryption. So let's understand it from an example. That is, here this is the sender, okay, and this is a receiver. So now here what is happening, that this sender is sending some text and it is going to encrypt it has two keys, that is public key and private key, and similarly the receiver has two keys, that is the public and the private keys. So what will happen, that the text can only be opened with when the public and private key pair are a match, that is private and public key comes together, then only this thing can be opened, the document can be opened. All right, so let's say this is the sender, that is it is A is the sender and B is the receiver. So what will happen, that A will sign the text using the public key of B. Okay, just to make it clear that I am explaining the asymmetric cryptography here. So A will sign that document with the public key of B. Okay, it encrypted the text and then it is going to it will send the text to B. So now what will happen, that once B get the text, you see B has his or her own private key. All right, and A have signed the text using B's public key. So when B receive the text, it is going to have his private key plus public key, that is both the keys are together, and then only the document can be decrypted. Okay, so then we get the document. And let's have a scenario that where Eve is snooping in between and try to decipher the text. So here A have encrypted the text with B's public key, and here this text somehow Eve manages to get the hang of public key, but the text will not be decrypted because it requires both the keys, that is public plus private, so decryption won't happen. Okay, that's why asymmetric encryption is more secure, that is it uses both public and private key. All right, so basically this is how the asymmetric cryptography works, and it is more secure and reliable than symmetric cryptography. Similarly, you see when B will send the you see private key is there with the users themselves. So the public key will be with the users, will be with everyone, and private key will be with the users. That is, B will not share his private key with anyone, and the A can share the public key with the whole network. All right, so that anyone can send a transaction or something signed with the B's public key. All right, this kind of basically concept is kind of used in blockchain. Okay, and it is basically used for validating the transaction, that is if it is correct or not. All right, so basically what happens in a blockchain, that whenever we whenever we try to get added in a blockchain, or whenever a node is added to a blockchain, it will be having two addresses, that is a public key address and a private key address. See, we basically need that wallets, blockchain wallets. All right, so for that security of blockchain and verifying the transactions, there will be two keys that will be generated. For example, like in Metamask wallet, I will just show you in a minute. So what is actually happening is it is generating two keys. Now what will happen that these two keys, now let me tell you one thing, that these two keys, if you see, this is the concept of asymmetric encryption, asymmetric cryptography, that is a document is content of document is secured. However, blockchain doesn't use the asymmetric cryptography like this. In a blockchain, any transaction you made with the bitcoins or Ethereum or anything, those transactions, the amount, let's say you transfer 3 bitcoin or 3 ethers to anyone, these amount will be available, will be shown to whole blockchain network. Anyone can see this account. All right, but what will happen, it will use the asymmetric cryptography for the identity of the users. That is, you won't be able to identify which user transferred these 3 bitcoin to whom. Okay, that is, you will see the detail of the transaction, but you won't be able to see the identity of the sender or receiver. So you can see here, just a second. Yeah, so let's say if I open the Bitcoin page, so I will just open and I will show you the transactions. You see that is the value of 1 Bitcoin in today's date. All right, just a second, I will open the Ethereum transactions. Yeah, so here we will be see, okay, not this. Yeah, you see that these are the transactions that has been made. You can see here, this is the block, these are the ether transactions, this is the block rewards which get, that is the mining reward, and these are some of the transactions. You can see the actual you can see this is the block number that is getting added after every transactions, and basically there is no evaluation of identity, that is identity is not mentioned, that is for the transactions. So this is how that blockchain is actually use this thing. Only basically the public key has been mentioned, that is you can send with this public address, but to open the identity you need to use the private key as well, that is you need to know the private key, and that private key is only with the receiver, that is this receiver. Okay, so you can see these are the values that is that has been transferred and that the balance is there. Okay, so basically this is how these transactions are happening. You can see the values here. Okay, and this is how this blockchain network actually uses this. Now what happens is you see it needs to verify the identity, and it also makes sure that there is no double spending of the ethers from asymmetric cryptography, that is there are no double spending. If a person is not having enough ethers, then he will not be able to spend the ethers. So here, or bitcoins. So here I will just show you how you can create your own wallet. So you can see here, this is Metamask and this is a blockchain wallet which is used. This is one of the blockchain wallets. So for making the blockchain transactions or in Ethereum or anything, you need to use these this Metamask. So you see, okay, we are not, it is that network, don't worry. Yeah, so basically these are the networks, and this Ethereum mainnet is actually the main Ethereum network. So I will, one more thing that you need for this is Ganache. Okay, So I will show you how to install this Ganache and Metamask in a minute. I will just first want to show you this thing, that is the transactions and number of ethers. So looks like it is opening. Okay, let's just close this. Yeah. So we will click on quick start. And once we have our Ganache running, it will be creating a local blockchain network. Okay, that is on the local host. It is going to create a blockchain network. It will give us accounts as well, and we are going to connect it with MetaMask like here. All right. So we'll just wait for some minutes. Okay, till that time, let's come back to the presentation. And so we have talked about asymmetric encryption. And what I am going to do is let me just show you in these slides. Okay, first of all, about installing Ganache, it is very easy. You need to install these tools. I will put these in description, and there are the links to install. Okay, and it is very easy to install. So you will get all the instructions, like you need to install Truffle by writing npm install gtruffle. All right, and all these things you need to install. That is very easy. Installing Chrome extension MetaMask, it is very easy. Like we can see for MetaMask, let's search MetaMask. Okay, just search MetaMask and you will get the link. Yeah, here this is the wallet. Okay, here you can see we have set up the Ganache as well. So anyways, you see you can here set up your blockchain wallet. Okay, and you can add the extension in your Chrome, and you need to make sure when you set up your wallet, what will happen, it is going to ask you about your keys, and it is going to have a secret phrase that is you need to add in order to recover your account. I will just let me do one thing. I will show you by creating a new MetaMask account. So first of all, for the Ganache, let's add a network here. Or let me do one thing. Let's open a new Chrome tab. Yeah, and here I am going to add. Okay, one MetaMask is already there. Oops. Yeah, let's hope there is no account in this. Okay, no, there is some account in this. You see it is now connected to Ganache, and it is saying for password to welcome me back. Let's add the password. So you see, this is kind of how you will get your accounts, and you can see this is a test account, so that's why I'm showing everything, all the details and everything. Okay, so basically this is how these accounts are, and you will have any transactions and everything available here. All right, and this is your key for which you can send your ethers and do the transactions. All right. So first of all, what we are going to do, let's I will show you how to create an account in just a minute. Yeah, let's open one more account. I hope there is no Metamask here. Yeah, finally. Okay, so you can go to the Metamask link. And you can just click on download. So for the Chrome, here you can see install Metamask for Chrome. So here you have your option to add Metamask to Chrome. Alright. So just click on add extension. So you see, basically we have these, when we see in this Ganache, in this Metamask, you can see there is this account, and I can show you this thing in Ganache that this is the address and this is the option for key. So you see there is this, this is the account address and this is the private key. So it is also giving you a warning that do not use private key on a public blockchain, use it for development purposes only. So you see, basically there are, that's why there are these keys for the verification purpose. That is, there are two keys. Okay, that is basically what I want to show you about the asymmetric encryption, asymmetric cryptography that has been used inside this blockchain. All right, there is some error in Metamask. I will see to it why it is showing some error. Anyways, the purpose, I hope it is clear, that for showing Metamask and Ganache, that this is basically for showing the keys, that is, it uses these keys in a blockchain network, that is the public key and a private key. So you can see in the Ganache that there is that private key as well. All right, so you see once it opens and when we made a transaction, this is how it is going to look like. All right, so this is for the Ganache, and I'm going to make a separate video for installing this Metamask, Ganache, and making a blockchain transaction. That I'm going to make a separate video, so don't worry about that. For this video, just focus on the asymmetric encryption and decryption part. Okay, that is, understand what asymmetric cryptography is like. All right, so we have seen asymmetric cryptography. Okay, next thing is the hashing. That is, hashing is the process of reducing the length of the data. That is, whatever is our message or transaction or anything, we will move it towards, we will give it as an input in a hash function, hash compressor function, and that is going to create the hash. In the blockchain we use is SHA-256 hash. That is, it is going to convert the message into a 256 message, no matter how much length of the message is. Let's say if a message is only A, that is a single bit message, then also it is going to convert that into 256 bit. So this we are going to see in the next video, that is how this hashing works. So we have seen asymmetric encryption, then we will see hashing, and after that we are going to have a look at other concepts, that is Muckle root tree, proof of work, and mining process, proof of work and mining. All right, and we will also see how to create a Metamask account and make the transactions using this Metamask wallet and Ganache, so that we can make the local transactions. All right, so in these local transactions you will see the message, this balance will get reduced. All right, and it will be increased in some other account. So we will see that. So for now, this is all for this video. See you guys in the next video.